We're already on.
Yo!
Hello.
Unbelievable win.
We
Oh, wait,
did
wait,
it.
wait, 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 wait. I have the wrong. Uh-oh. I have the wrong deal right here. Edit name. Where's the. There's something that says Ole Miss beat us. That's not where we're at right now. Uh-oh. I don't know how to fix this. See our name right here? We won, though. That's all I know. Did anyone see it?
No,
Why can't I fix that?
I don't know.
Ole Miss beats us. I don't like that. Edit name. Save. Why is it doing that? That's so weird. I can't see anything. Anyways.
Here, scroll down. See if there's anything else. Just like Sooners Live.
Let's see if we can just do Sooners Live. Boom. Well, that's a different one. Boom. Remove from scene. It's better than what we had, at least. It doesn't say we lost. Why can't I change this name right here? It's all I want to be able to do is change this.
Well, that's weird.
This is what happens when we try to use the fancy ones.
I know. It's frustrating. What do y'all think? Throw a comment. Dad, hold this.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll just start and I'll fix all this up. But what are your thoughts starting the game? I don't know. I just so much going on. I'm gonna let my dad take over real quick while I fix this layout.
Well,
make sure this is pointing towards you.
Well, what an odd events that happened from the first half to the second half. It was amazing to watch our team play in the first half. Our defense, I mean, they kept it alive and finally scored a touchdown for us, and you know that played a big part in the game. I mean, we were all sitting there thinking, we got outplayed. It was, we didn't feel good going into the halftime, and coming out in the second half, Mateer was different. It's like they went in and said, hey, just let it all hang out. Don't worry about throwing interceptions or just play. And he did. He played like the first 4 games we saw him before the injury. And I think it really made a difference in his throwing, his confidence. And when you've got your offense playing that well, your defense is resting, and that builds confidence in the whole team. And I think that's what turned it around. And plus, then it helps when you have a kicker that kicks those field goals like he did today. It was unbelievable. I mean, holy cow. It just all worked out. We were all sitting there frustrated, even to the point where we should have been running the football and we throw a pass and an interception. I probably got a little excited on that, but it all worked out. We won and going to celebrate the win. And I think there were some positive things in the second half for our offense to expound on for the next game that we play. And I think Robinson is played really well today. He did some really positive things. I think Mateer, if he continues to play like this the rest of the year, we have a legitimate chance of winning every football game that we play. And so that gives us a lot of confidence. And we're just getting better up front of the line. I think those 2 freshman tackles, they make mistakes. I mean, it happens, but some of those mistakes he made in the first half, Mateer just didn't step up into the pocket. And he wants to run outside and runs right into the defensive end. But other than that, all the frustrations, you got to hand it to them, man. They went in the halftime, whatever they did in the halftime, it came out, they were a different football team. And I'm really proud of how they played and how they fought and ended up winning the football game. It felt so good, even to the point where, the little things matter. The onside kick is such a big thing, and it's really tough in college, not in the NFL, to sometimes recover those. You saw that in the Texas game where Vanderbilt really should have had the ball and it went out of bounds. And we made 2 great catches at the end when it counted, and we ended up winning the football game. And now we get a week off to heal up, and here we go. Man, we got a chance. I think if we win the rest of the games, we got a chance to get in the playoffs. What do you think?
I do. Tierney, what do you think of the game? What are your thoughts?
I had every thought under the sun, honestly.
Isn't that the truth?
At times I was so happy, then at times I was so upset. Man, our Mason Thomas, his play set the tone for us. Like, gave us the hope and the fire that we needed. I really hope. Venable said that he doesn't expect him to miss much time, if any. So that's
big
good
update
news.
by you right there.
And I mean, he was moving around on the sideline,
right?
And it could be one of those things like, we're just not going to make it worse, because our defense was playing. I want to say the defense playing fine without him, at least from his position standpoint. So I understand, like, being we have enough injuries. You don't risk it,
right? Yeah.
When you're giving yourself a chance at that time, even though he was being held every single game, that was comical. That we have 3 holdings, and again, too.
You mentioned it early on.
Oh yeah, I'm like, literally, there's holds all over the place, and people are like, "Oh, they're wearing white gloves and white jersey." I don't care. You could see it.
It does get to a point where it's like, dude, you got to call it fair, man. I understand that you're not going to get everyone, but whenever, and y'all will know this, like, when you have a star player in any position, you should be king on them because they're your star. And the fact that our Mason Thomas gets like almost strangled every time, where a guy's reaching across his chest, the other shoulder pad,
right?
And they never call it.
No.
Ever.
And I think somebody even put it in my comments, like, the last time we had a holding call for us, like, in our favor, was in Auburn. Yes. And I believe it. I haven't recalled a single holding. I think maybe once against Texas, but it was at the end of the game and didn't matter anymore. Right. But it's just insane. And again, like, I don't know. It's not even my job to look for it. I'm sitting here like, that's literally so obvious that I see it. So that's kind of annoying. But I mean, we overcame that, which was just exciting. The second half, actually seeing the offense look confident. I mean, we had 2 horrible turnovers when we were in scoring position, but neither here nor there now.
Right.
But like, John looked more confident. He looked more comfortable. The running game was there. The offensive line was in gear. Like, everything actually looked smooth, and that they knew what they were doing. And so that was just, I don't know, it was really nice to see, because I mean, that's a hard stadium they're playing.
Right.
So the fact that you're doing that in that type of environment shows that you can do it. You have to commit to it.
Yeah.
But man, I literally have, I'm still like kind of in the position of, it doesn't even feel like we won. Kind of like, I have so many emotions. Like, they're still all kind of figuring themselves out. Like, it's
one of those things where I think on one hand you say there are no bad wins. First off, Ghost, thank you. Ghost Texas football, thank you for the congrats. Also, I'll say congrats to you. I will never say congrats to Texas on a big win, but congrats to you on enjoying a Saturday because your team did something not bad. It's the best you're getting from me. Anyways, it's one of those things where there's never a bad road win in the SEC. I think you see it all the time with teams that struggle to win games in which I go back my best example. Well, 2 of them. 20 when Cam Newton won the Heisman, they struggled against one of the worst Kentucky teams of all time, and they almost got beat, and they won in the final few minutes. And then you saw 2021 Georgia barely beats an on the road Kentucky team. You go on the road,
Kentucky.
And isn't it right? It's always that one team,
right? And this isn't. I'm not trying to say Tennessee is Kentucky. Tennessee is a good team.
You're just saying that away games are hard.
Away games, because I see a lot of people on Twitter right now being like, "Well, Tennessee didn't have the defense." First off, let's talk about a couple of things OU did today. One, they may have a Heisman favorite in Tate Sandell as a kicker.
Oh my!
I just don't know. We talked about it too. That is such a weapon. He's the college version of Brennan Aubrey from Dallas. Mm-hmm. He is guaranteed points once you hit. Well, he doesn't have the leg, obviously Brennan Aubrey, but he's knock on wood right now. Guaranteed points once you get into field at 55 yards and in, and the ability for him to just be consistent, it opens you up so much to just take chances both on defense and offense. I feel like. Secondly, this is one of those games where what has BV been questioned on? First off, he's 1-8 when trailing at halftime in the SEC going into this game. Josh Heupel, I think, was I think he had just barely lost any games when he's like 8-1. I don't know. It was a crazy stat. But anyways, BV gets the win trailing at half. And I think what a lot of people have to say is also, but side note, Oklahoma for the first time in BV's career scores over 30 points against an SEC opponent. Tennessee. We said one of those streaks have to break. Tennessee again gives up more than 30 against an SEC opponent.
I'm glad it was. I'm glad it was them instead of us.
Right. You have to. Yeah.
Finally, it wasn't us.
And I think the biggest thing, and my dad and I talked about it, was you saw John Mateer finally, and I promise you, we'll get to that inexcusable, inexplicable pass late in the game. We will get to that. But I will say, first off, on the good things you saw, the things I think you really build off of if you're Oklahoma's offense, John Mateer finally looked like he was free, kind of playing the game, having fun. I'm going to put this over here, too, if that works, because my dad can see the comments. And I'll put this over here.
I'm looking at comments, too, in the live, just to make sure.
But I really feel like you saw Oklahoma finally be able to build off a offensive scheme in which you really we all wanted to see Xavier Robinson. We all were dying for that kind of game from him, and I'm trying to find he had 16 carries, 115 yards, and a touchdown. Averaged 7.2 yards per carry. And this is what is so encouraging, and it'll get to a question that we got here as well. First off, Sark's daddy, Jalen Brown. Hey, thanks for reposting. I love this guy. He's hilarious on Twitter, by the way. Hilarious. Good follow too, so go follow him. But
hi, Stacy. We're gonna say
Stacey,
hi to our regulars.
Always say hi to your regulars. Yeah.
Modern day caveman.
Modern day caveman. Yep. Someone asked about the 9-3. They said 9-3 was a guarantee getting the playoff, and then today they were saying they don't know. I'm going to drop that down.
40% chance of making the playoff with this win.
I'm just going to drop that down because there's some thoughts that I have, and I'm curious what T and my dad think about that as well. But what I'll say is, I think we got to give credit where it's due. We all said Arbuckle. You got to see the easy wins right now, and Xavier Robinson is the guy that you have to feature if you are a offensive coordinator. We all said I wanted 15 between 20 carries. He gives him 16. And here's the thing, too. He continues to go to him after the costly fumble late in the game. And what do you think about that? What do you think about that as a coach, as someone who – is it one of those things where, it shows that he sees it, too, and he's been able to provide on it? And Mateer, we saw, I think, for the first time, at least my dad and I thought, and T as well, there were a couple times where he finally cut loose like he did at the Michigan game, like he did against Auburn late in the game, where it felt like he felt free enough to kind of go out and catch it. Go out and let it fly a little bit. So that's kind of where I was at. What did you think of letting Xavier Robinson be the guy, letting some of these people I know you're trying to look at the stats here as well, but letting some of these guys kind of be free, Robinson kind of go free, Dad?
Well, I've been saying it since last year. I don't know why he was not the RB1. I guess something happened in the fall. Leading up to the games, something was going on there that he wasn't that guy. So I think maybe he got healed up enough. Maybe he knows the offense a little bit better. He is a new offensive coordinator, but I've always said that he's our SEC back. He's built for it. Every time he touches the ball, he's always going forward. He's never losing yardage, and 16, even 20 touches for me would have been really excellent. Just situation wasn't there yet, but I think late in the game with 4 minutes left, and we throw that interception, which I won't say what I said, but I was not happy. The ball should have been in either his hands or Mateer hands by then, because when you're 16 for 115 and then Mateer 16 for 80, you're getting back to where Mateer was running the ball the first 4 games, and then you add the running back there. That's deadly for an offense. And then you've got Satania. He kind of went off a little bit too, and so I'm kind of impressed. He just threw the ball where it's supposed to go. People were open. They pulled some stuff out of their toolbox and just went and say, "Hey, let's go play free. Let's go win the game and see." And that's what they did. And I was so impressed with the second half. I'm glad Mateer's back. That's all I'm saying. If he plays that way the rest of the year, I'm telling you, we got a chance. And the fumble thing with him, and everybody saw it that was watching the game.
With Xavier? My bad. You said Mateer. I want people to...
Xavier, when he fumbled the ball, I'm sorry. That was a heck of a play by that DB. I mean, nobody's going to hold on to the ball when they punch it out clearly like he did. He made a great, great, great play. And I hated it, but, things like that do happen in a football game. And what maturity did he have to come back and they give him the football, and then he ends up, playing the game the rest of the game and not letting that bother him, because it can bother some running backs and get in their head.
We have a
What's
comment
up?
from members here from Shanae. She says defensive touchdowns made my I can't click it. I don't know what's happening.
You're good.
Made my heart pitter patter. Oh, us too. We went crazy. And she has one more comment down right there. She said the guys all look like they were playing more free and having fun tonight.
We mentioned that. It was one of those where it just looked like they finally played free.
You weren't overthinking it. Like you're playing.
You're playing, and I always relate it to golf, and it's like you just can't play worried about the mistake if you're going to be successful in any industry, honestly. Right. No matter what you're doing, you have to play free and know that you're free to make the mistake,
right?
And it's not going to kill you.
I know my parents told me a million times when I was shooting it, like, Tierney, if you think about your shot, don't even shoot it because you're not going to make it.
Well, and I think one of the best examples of what we saw before we started the podcast, the double play, the shortstop gets the ground ball, steps on second to win the World Series. In that moment, he's not thinking though, this is to win the World Series. Oh my gosh. It's second nature. He's letting it ride. He's saying, "Oh, this is the ground ball. I'm stepping on second, and I'm throwing it to first." I've done it a million times in my life.
Right. It just comes natural, and I think that's what happened today when for Matera, he just all of a sudden it just clicked, and it was just a joyous thing to see a guy that's playing. He's playing offensive, but it's kind of like he's playing defensively. He's trying not to make a mistake. And he didn't do that in the second half. He said, "Okay, I'm going to go. Let's go play." The passes that he threw were impressive, and it was fun to watch, man.
Quick little question again by Shanae, member also. By the way, guys, a couple of ways to guarantee we get your comment. Super chat, always appreciated. Don't have to do that though. We'll try to get to some. But Shanae's a member. She's been great, and we try to always get to member comments. Dad, you've coached longer than I have.
Shanae, let us know if we're not saying your name right.
Shanae, yeah. I'm just here. I'll let you run it.
Oh no, that's not a Xeno pick. That's Smokey. That's the blue tick hound Smokey.
By the way, prayers to him. He had some
the retired one. Cancer. I don't like that.
A couple things. Net rushing yards right here. By the way, I want to bring this up because what does Oklahoma do well? And they did this last year, and it's one thing. One of the reasons why I was so encouraged about coming into the season was I knew Oklahoma had a defense that could stop the run. Tonight, rushing attempts, both had 35 exactly. Again, when you look at games and you see the common numbers between teams, it always astonishes me. Both had 35 rushing attempts. Tennessee, 1.8 yards per rush. Oklahoma, 5.5. Net rushing yards, 63 for Tennessee. Net total yards, 456. Look, they gashed us on a lot. I will say this, and I'll let my dad get into the playing man defense for zone and all that. I'm not going to act like I could have that conversation and be educated at all. I couldn't. But I will say this. When you stop the running and you make a team one-dimensional, you see that the defense finally figured out, hey, it's legal to turn the ball over against an offense. You can make plays. You're allowed to intercept the ball. And also really frustrating things. But Dad, I want to ask you, and I have a question. I have my philosophy on this too. Oh, Shanae.
It's Shanna.
Shanna. Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Like, but there is an E at the end.
Shanna.
So
yeah.
She's like, I'm used to it.
Shanna.
My name's Tyranny. I get it. I mispronounced all the time. So.
Shanna asks, should X have stopped sooner and went ahead and scored there in the fourth? Didn't seem since we scored immediately after it took too much time off. He should have scored, in my opinion. The only time you don't score. And this is kind of it was whenever a touchdown and extra point a touchdown and a 2-point conversion won't tie the game. Ideally, like when you don't score there is, especially when you have 2 timeouts if you're Tennessee, because you don't know what's going to happen on the next snap. And if you remember, like this game was one of those games where, although there were turnovers, there were also a lot that were turned over that went out of bounds at the end of runs. The ball was being punched out on several long runs. Satania had one that we saw. Obviously, X-Rob had it punched out. When you're not ahead by more than, if a touchdown won't take you up by more, or kneeling won't keep you up by more than, 9 points at least, you need to get the points, especially whenever you were struggling offensively like we were. So I get why he wasn't doing it. I just, again, imagine this, right? So we stopped short. We're up by, 4 or something, or 3? Was it even – what was the score whenever he scored that? I can't – up by 2. Up by 2, that's right. We're up by 2, and imagine he doesn't score there, right? So now imagine the next snap is a fumbled snap. Now Tennessee gets the ball, and you're a field goal away from losing. Mm-hmm. So those moments are, again, these have to be coached, and even if they're coached, it's different in practice versus in a game, right? Mm-hmm. You got to know what you're wanting to do there. He should have just scored, and then you just take whatever happens after that.
And
your
again,
defense
that's
played
all
well.
Opinion, because I know people are like, oh, we had them waste timeout. Yeah, sure, that's great, but we also, like, with the we just had to 2 turnovers in scoring position. So like we're also running the risk of getting a fumble there, or like you said, a bad snap, or just you just never know what could happen. And I didn't trust us, which is on me. And then someone's like, well, if we're gonna make them waste their timeouts, why didn't we take a knee? On the first down. Exactly. And then make them waste another one. Right. Or it just like it didn't.
My thing is, and maybe I'm wrong, but my thing is this, and tell me if our offense right now isn't good enough to be having these kind of deep 4D chess moves.
No.
I'm sorry, we're just not. We need to score.
Yeah,
right?
That's where I was at. Like, I was like, we don't need to try to outsmart ourselves. No. Like somebody commented back like, oh, we should have stopped at the 5-yard line. Heck no.
No.
You want to try to get in from the 5-yard line? No. That's even harder. Like,
well, how much time was different when we ended up scoring? So I think he should have scored. And we were playing. Well, I'll tell you, we were playing Texas, and we're fixing to score, and we're going to win the football game. And our quarterback, and we're on the goal line, right, same place.
Wait, which year is this?
That was in '90, and Kel Gundy was the quarterback, and he was young, but it was just a quarterback sneak, and he fumbles the ball. And Texas gets the ball, and we end up losing the game. We would have won the game if that doesn't happen. And I'm sitting there thinking, that flashes back in my head. I'm going, oh my gosh, it's just what Tierney's saying. You don't know what's going to happen the next play. So I was hoping he scored.
Auburn, Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. You don't.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, on the goal line.
Exactly. So you take it when you can, and don't think that things are going to work out.
Yeah,
you don't know.
You don't know, especially when you mentioned. I'm struggling. We aren't good enough on offense to be banking on we're going to score in a couple plays, especially with how the ball was bouncing around. Let's get to a play that is going to live in infamy. Well, I shouldn't say live in infamy. People will forget about it by next week. But the pass play late in the game,
which apparently was an RPO, which should not have had the O there, or PO. PO shouldn't have been there.
It was a bad right. It was a horrible decision by John. It should never have been an option. You are doing everything you can right there just to run. And by the way, we had done well. I'm trying to go to quarter right here. Quarter, half, cumulatives. Where's the fourth? Oh, this is cool. Look at this. They just break it down. Second half, look at this.
I know, it's crazy.
Second half, look at the differences. This stat broadcast, by the way, if anyone can use statbroadcast.com/ and you just type in Oklahoma, Tennessee, it'll go live stats. It has by the half, by the quarter, whatever you want. It's the greatest thing ever.
And while Chad is looking up this stat, it looks like there's over 400 people of you watching, whether you're on X or YouTube or Facebook. We appreciate you. If you are watching on another platform besides YouTube, can you just jump over to the live stream and throw a like on for us? And you can also join us in the live chat. There's several people over here. We have Stacy and Shanna and a modern day caveman. We have Sark's daddy Jay in the comments. So there's lots of people over here. We love building community with you guys, and every like and comment goes a long way for us. And then also, if we already haven't mentioned, you can also become a member. Like, subscribe. Stacy always reminds us, like, subscribe to the channel, share the video. We have a few people have shared it. Brandon Nesbitt, thank you for reposting the stream. I believe Jay reposted the stream. Stacy always reposts. I'm going to thank her. So just thank you guys for all your support, but let's continue.
I want to talk a little bit about these second half stats. First half stats, I'm just going to say a couple first half, then how crazy it was in the second. All right, needed that deep breath. All right, first half stats. Total yards, Tennessee 255, Oklahoma 99. Third downs, Tennessee 6 for 8, 75%. Oklahoma 1 for 5, 20% on third down. Total plays, Oklahoma 25, Tennessee 1 play from doubling us at 49. Time of possession, I'm saying this for a reason. 10 minutes 50 for OU, 19 minutes 10 seconds for Tennessee. Let's go second half. And my dad and I in T had all said, like, I felt like it's kind of dominated the second half a little bit, except for us beating ourselves in that ridiculous play we'll get to. Second half, total yards, 252 for Oklahoma, 201 for Tennessee. Third down percentage rate, 3 for 5, 60% for Oklahoma in the second half, 1 for 5, 20% for Tennessee.
They do, in fact, have a punter.
They do have a punter.
They do, in fact, have a punter.
Total plays, 39 for Oklahoma in the second half. Again, they only had 25 in the first half, 31 for Tennessee, so 18 less than the first half for Tennessee. Time of possession, 19 minutes, 17 seconds for Oklahoma, 10 minutes, 43 for Tennessee. So almost an inverse of the first half possession rates for both teams. And it really was a game where once Oklahoma kind of figured out what worked on offense, they really didn't stop. Tennessee didn't stop them. They stopped themselves. Oh, yeah. And it gets us to the play that I think everyone here is wondering what happened. I Dad, you tell me from a coaching perspective, T, you played in elite level college athletics. Why is that even an option to throw a ball there? I played a high school quarterback level, and a lot of people did. I'm not acting like that's anything impressive. But you hear me during games. I know it's not like I'm an idiot about the sport. There are certain things that you just don't need to do. When you are running the ball really efficiently, your one goal there is to make them use their timeouts and run as much time off the clock as you can, especially when you have a guy with a leg the size of a horse as your field goal kicker.
Pause.
Okay, maybe pause thing. But you know what I mean? You got a guy that's making them for 55 like it's a chip shot. And the one thing you can't do is throw an interception. By the way, it's a first down throw. Why are we doing?
That's even more infuriating. If it was a third down, I can not even really, because at that point we just needed a field goal. But because we did throw it on third down the series before.
Yes.
But it's a first down.
And you are risking, by the way, stopping the clock on a pass play.
That as well.
Why are you doing? You should not do that.
And then it was into traffic. Not only was it a throw, it was literally in the most congested part of the field.
In the middle of the field. Now, was it a pass interference? Yes, he was grabbing all over him. By the way, they're not going to call that in the middle of 45 people in the middle of the field trying to. From a coach's perspective, is it just I don't know. I mean, why is that even an option to throw there?
It shouldn't have been. He should have taken it right out of his hands and said, "We're not doing the RPO here. You're handing the football off. We're going to try to run as much time off. We're in position to kick a field goal right now, and if we're lucky enough, we'll get another first down, and we won't even have to do anything. We'll run the clock out, and we'll win the football game." And that's kind of what I thought we were going to do. I was totally shocked when he threw the ball. I mean, totally shocked.
And I just sitting by him, I could tell you he was not a fan, I will say, of the call.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. And Mateer should have known, as you get experience like he is and knows the situation, you know right there, 1st and 10, and there's 4 minutes left, clock's running. We've got to run the football. Even if it has to be me, let's hand the football off or let me run the ball.
Honestly, I think everybody in our house was saying, just don't throw it. Just don't throw it. Just don't throw it. And obviously they're like, why are we throwing it?
Exactly. And I think everybody that's listening is saying the same thing we're saying. It's not like it's a revelation here. It's just we knew run the ball, So I don't know. We'll be talking about that and we'll forget about it later on. But hopefully we've learned from it. Won't do that again.
And never a better time to learn a lesson from a game than in a win.
Yeah,
especially.
Howdy, you're right. You coach harder when you win. When you do, you're losing. I'm just telling you, because you can really get on to them because their attitudes are a little different. And they are, because they're positive. They won. They come off, and then you can really coach them hard, technique, this and that, and that's another positive here, because they're going to do some really good coaching next week on some of the mistakes. Nothing. Obviously, things weren't perfect, but they're going to have a lot of opportunity, for one, to heal up, and two, to get some of the details locked in for this last stretch to get us in the playoffs. And I hope that happens for this football team, because it's been a struggle not only for them, but it has been for us as fans here in the last few weeks.
It has been a struggle. I'm just you get a win and you're just you kind of you get excited, but also it's one of those, you look back at all the up and downs of the game, and it's like, man, there's so many things that they almost tried to lose this one, but they luckily didn't. And
we got 3 turnovers.
That's
awesome.
Oh, the defense almost ties their season long of turnovers in one game.
Wait, no. You mean the whole season?
The whole season, the season number, total, my bad. Season total.
Not season long, it's only 2. Season total.
It couldn't have come at a better time.
No, it could not have.
I'm trying to retweet our.
I know that because I think the first series we should have had an INT.
Yes.
With, I don't know, was it Bowen? Maybe. No, it was Guillory. Should have had the INT there, and I was like, can we just please get one turnover? Just one, why are we, it's always right there and we can never finish it, and then we end up getting some. Oh yeah, and we should have gotten the fumble.
Yes.
So they're just in the first drive that Tennessee made alone, we should have had 2 turnovers and didn't. And then we were able to get 3. So good job.
Let me ask y'all this.
We've been waiting. I can't imagine how loud the fans got in the stadium for OU, the few that were there, but man. And yes, I did get my wish, Stacey, to have a good bye week.
This is a good point by Shanna.
Dead gum.
Sorry, Shanna. Also, I want to. She says refs needed some accountability. The amount of missed calls was atrocious. Team mentioned it about 1,000 times during the game too. And I wonder, there's so much money into gambling now where they're going to have to do something. Either it's going to be actual professionals in reffing that do this as a career, and they have an off season too where they can learn and get better. But like the missed calls they have, R. Mason Thomas and them get held every single down, and they're never called for it, ever called for it. I also want to ask this, get y'all's opinion in the chat. If you'll let us know, is this the biggest win of Brent Venables' career? I had a guy that I really like, Fireside. I don't know his actual name, but he's a great Twitter friend of mine. Say the Michigan game was. I think this is the biggest game of Brent's career. If he goes to Alabama and wins, that'll be the biggest win of his career. But right now, you have you're teetering on a season where this is like kind of a break everything kind of game, right? It could go one way or the other. You win this game, like we feel right now, momentum into the bye week, right. Recruiting on the bye week, all of that continues to elevate. You lose this game, and it feels like another one of those, oh no, kind of things. Another season of BV, playing well in the beginning, kind of faltering at the back end. He makes the point where Michigan set the season, Tennessee saved it. I still think this is the biggest win. It's also an SEC win on the road. It's one first one he's had, BV has had, and really, did he have one last year? He didn't. There's no way. I'm just going to assume he didn't. No, no, we did. Auburn. Auburn. He had kick six. But he wins. You're looking at Oklahoma will be close to the top 10 again because Georgia Tech lost, Miami lost, Vanderbilt lost, and we go on the road into probably the hardest road environment we'll face all year. Even Alabama, they don't have the environment. Well, it's not going to be like that, I don't think. And you win that game. Is this the biggest win of his career? What do y'all think? Yes or no?
For sure, it's the biggest win. It's, I mean, you're going to Tennessee, and one of the most hostile places you can play. It's an away game. It's SEC, and I think it's the biggest win of this coaching staff that we've had. I know Michigan was big, but it's a home game, and that was a big win for us. But the Tennessee game now
Georgia Tech
is the biggest win. Yeah. Now, when we go into Alabama and we beat Alabama, that's the biggest win. You get what I'm going here, and then we play Missouri, that's the biggest win. LSU we're going to beat. But that's the way I feel. I think we just set the tone. We set the momentum. I think if we stay healthy at quarterback, it's gonna be different from here on out because I think he's our guy that we thought he should be, and he was the first 4 games, and we got him back, and I'm excited now, and we got our best running back playing, giving the ball 15, 20 times a game. It gives us a chance to win, but I hope we start out faster than we did this week from now on out, so that we gives us a chance to feel like, hey, we've got control of this game. We're getting turnovers, and let's just win them all out.
We still went into the halftime with the lead.
Can you believe
Who would have thought that?
Well, 3 turnovers, a touchdown. Defense scored for us, so that, and we get field goals. So, anytime you keep them from scoring or getting field goals, and you're winning. But my gosh, how in the world? I mean, they even said at halftime, how in the world we had, huh? I mean, we couldn't believe it. I couldn't, and I didn't feel good. No. We were at halftime. We were all talking.
I will say that though, I felt better with this lead at half than I did with Texas lead at half.
Oh well, yeah.
I don't know how to describe that. I know, I know saying that after the game, but really, it felt like we were down.
Yeah.
At half with Texas,
right?
And then here, I was like, we're actually winning. Heck yeah! There's some energy.
Exactly.
So I don't know if it just bled over, but.
I think for me, I felt better because I saw them actually trying to give extra ball. I saw that material in them at least. I don't know. I just still, and I was telling my dad this is during halftime, so this is even before he played better the second half. I don't know what it is. There is just the it factor is so over-inclusive and under-inclusive because it really can't be explained. But John Mateer to me still has an aura or a way about him that I just don't. I don't have a big question mark in terms of do I think he's too big for the moment, or he just has a calmness about him that a lot of guys don't have when the moment's too big. Now. He's got to learn to trust his offensive line. He's got to learn to not have happy feet in the pocket. But I think in the second half, you saw him be a little better at that. You saw him not get, or at least be decisive when he's going to run the ball. Now, with that interception, it was a terrible play. You should not do it, right? You should never do that. On the silver lining part of it, I was telling my dad, I was like, at least he feels free enough now to make the mistake. Because my thing, if you listen to our podcast Monday, was you can't tell Brett Favre not to be a gunslinger. And I don't make that. I don't think he's Brett Favre. I'm not saying that point. But I think Johns plays best when he feels free to make the mistake. Like he's not going to be turned. He's not going to be pulled out. He's not going to be yelled at by the. But when he feels like he can play some backyard football, and whenever you try to like limit a guy by saying, "Look, just don't make the mistake. Just play perfect. Just do all this stuff, other stuff." I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I totally could be. Fair enough if I am. But at least and again, if he would have lost, I would have been yelling at like, "Don't ever do that." Right. So I get rose-colored glasses. All that applies. I understand that 100%. But I'm just hoping that mentality carries over now, minus the mistakes in the long run. But you're going to have a guy like John Mateer have that ability and that mindset to make the mistake if you're going to go to Alabama and win. If you're going to beat a Missouri team that's still talented, you're going to beat an LSU team that's still going to have talent, even though they fired everybody in their front office. But I don't know. For me, it was encouraging. Oklahoma now has more SEC wins than they did all of last year. They finally scored over 30 points against an SEC opponent.
And I know I pulled up. I think you found it a second ago. If you could pull it up to me, but I pulled up some of the stats for on Monday, like Tennessee stats. Can you go back up about their scoring offense? Do you know where it was?
Who?
Right there. Yeah, it said the Volunteers were ranked second nationally in scoring offense at 45.6 points per game. I think we held under that just a little bit tonight. And then third in total offense at 510 yards per game. Again, still held them under. We gave up a lot of yards, but we held them under that.
And I think people saw how important. I just don't know how to. Dad, explain this. You're really better at it than I will. Or T, maybe you will too. People don't understand how good your offense has to be good in order for your defense to continue to be great. There is no defense with how good offenses are nowadays and how athletic everybody is and how good – the biggest thing is how good quarterbacks are because they're trained at a young age to make the quick good reads. They're trained at a young age to make accurate – it's just a different world of football for you to just think you're going to go out there and be the 2000 Chicago Bears or the 85 Bears, the 2000 Miami Hurricanes and or even win a – like Oklahoma did in 2000 and win a championship 13 to whatever score it was.
That's not going to happen. The offenses are too dynamic. The RPO changed everything, and they're going to score points, and we know that. And that's why it's important that your offense has to produce. But that kind of tells you how impressive our defense is, right? At the first half, we got 25 snaps, and they scored more points than our offense did. So that's why they kept us in the football game, and finally, our offense in the second half, take it out. And the thing that I love about Mateer, he's never has deer in the headlights. You notice that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have it. And the stage isn't too big for him. I mean, if it was, he would have cracked. He wouldn't have come back. And so you're not going to get a bigger stage than the Tennessee. I know we're going to Alabama, but it's not Tennessee. I think the setting there is incredible.
Night game as well.
And it's a night game. It's a blackout game. They win nearly every one of those games they play.
They were 4-1 ever on dark mode games.
Yes. And then and I think it sets the tone for us to go to Alabama. I think we're set to upset Alabama. Everybody's going to pick them to win probably, but I think we have a chance to beat them. I think we play good enough defense, and if our offense does anything like we did in the second half, the whole game against Alabama, we may come out of there and we're going to have a post game, and it's going to be exciting to beat them 2 years in a row. Who does that?
It would be a year since our first post game.
Yeah, and that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I will say Alabama does have, knock on wood, an OU issue. I mean, we beat them in 2014 when they were the big bad wolf. Remember? We beat them last year when we were the worst, and we held them to 3. They didn't even score a touchdown. No. I mean, my goodness, dude. The deer in headlights thing is spot on. I want to get to this question by Travis Watson here. Question for you Sooners. You guys make the biggest third down of the season on 3 and 4 with 4:20 to go in the game with a 9-point lead and then throw it on first. Well, we talked about that earlier. Trav, it's inexcusable. There's no real reason to ever do that.
If you're asking us why we did it, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Nobody knows.
Shouldn't have been an option. Shouldn't have even been a thought. And for some reason it was.
Yeah, we said earlier, the PO should not have been. There should have been no option, no pass, nothing. Like, just insane.
We're doing this.
Yeah, right.
Because me with like, if you run it and you fumble it, I can deal with it. I'm going to be really mad. Don't be wrong.
Right.
But at least we didn't do something, like, it wasn't stupid. Like, it wasn't just something you just flat out should not have done. And then, like we said, it wasn't like even you were throwing it out. You were throwing it into a cluster of humans. Like, he was surrounded by dark jerseys. Like, it just, it's fine. It ended up being, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine now. Man.
Boy, I didn't think it was going to be there.
Wow, 31-14 Utah for Cincinnati late in the Big 12 football in the third.
I picked Utah. Poor Zeno.
I picked Cincy because I needed an upset. But, I'm also in like 40 at 23rd in our pick'ems.
Paul and I are in good.
My dad's leading it. T's in like third, second. I don't know. I'm just an idiot, I guess. 100%. Coach Smith says, Stacy, I thought Tennessee was a better team than Bama. This win gives us more confidence we can beat Bama. Listen, Tennessee is a good team. The problem with Bama is, and maybe this is just bias. They know how
to win.
Yes.
They have a coach that's used to winning still, even in DeBoer, and there is something to be said for just playing for the emblem they have on their helmet and it's just a standard I feel like they still have. And Ty Simpson is playing maybe the best quarterback ball that we've had. I will say this: I always would rather play a quarterback like an Aguilar or a Ty Simpson, knock on wood, than I would a Trinidad Chambliss or even a South Carolina guy. I'm blanking on the name because it's late. Lenore Sellers. Because when you can play a guy that's dual threat like that, it adds such a layer of stress for a defense. And I love that everyone's like, Brent Venables always struggles against the dual threat quarterback. I'm like, who
everybody,
doesn't? Like,
everybody does.
Defense that does it.
Everybody does. I mean, it's a killer, and that's why I think I have a little more confidence if we can get everybody healthy back, and we're going to get some sacks. I think we're going to get a few more turnovers. We're due some more. And if we do that, we'll win the football game. I've said it every week. If we get a couple of turnovers, we'll win. It just hadn't happened, And it did this game, and fruition brings a win to us. And they came at the right time, and that just happens. And winning, it's Sooner magic, man. I mean, that's part of Sooner magic is that we win games maybe we shouldn't have at the end, and we just pull them out. And that's what we've got to get back to.
I mean, it's what we mentioned on Monday. Like, I can tell you why we win every game here on out. Or I can tell you why we lose it every game going out.
Exactly.
And today we did enough to lose it, but thankfully we won it.
Right.
I mean, if we're being honest, you have 2 turnovers in scoring position. You cannot do that.
No.
And you just got lucky that way. I'll put it for that. But man, we did score over 30 points. So if we can keep that up, I truly believe we can beat anybody remaining. You can score over 30.
One thing I do think we need to get better at is big plays on passing, gains of 15 or plus more. Tennessee had 10 of them. We had 1.
On like third down.
We had it. Yeah, it was play number 5, 1st and 15 from the Tennessee 43. We have the 25-yard pass to Satania. A rail shot, by the way, by John Mateer. Great throw. Finally, I mean, that's what he looks like whenever he finally just rips it, man. Like, just throw the ball. And what I think is encouraging is maybe you saw him finally believe, like, oh, I'm good enough. I'm good healthy-wise. And I think that's going to continue to improve for him. I will say, though, we on big plays, rushing gains of 10+, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. Tennessee had 1.
So we're basically
we are. If BV is good at one thing, he knows how to stop a run game.
He does. They're really good at it. They were good at it last year. I think we gave up a little bit more last year. Just one of those 2 long runs, Yeah. But we've kind of stopped doing that here lately. So the only issue I have with our defense right now is our corners and safeties have to bring their hands when they tackle. They just can't throw their shoulder into it, and that showed on that one touchdown because our corner, he went in there to make a hit, but he didn't bring his hands to grab a hold, and he ends up scoring. And that happened again later in the game. But I don't know if they're taught that or what, but they've got to bring the hands and grab a hold and get those guys down. And a lot of times those big plays that they're getting, we get into zones, and there's just areas in the zone that are open, and it's tough. And if you don't get pressure on the quarterback, they're going to make that throw. And the interceptions were why he was pressured, right? Mm-hmm. And so he makes those throws, and we get the interceptions. And that's what's got to happen if you're going to run that. If you're not going to run man to man, because Tennessee ran the man to man, and it made it tough on us. And then I think we started running some better routes to get open and make easy throws for Mateer to make those completions. And in the end, it all worked out for us.
I want to shout out Owen Heineke, a couple of guys that played well. Owen Heineke, 13 tackles, 5 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Probably will be our college football Oklahoma player of the game.
I don't know. Tate Sandell, throw some respect.
Oh, actually, that's a great point.
Throw some respect.
Oh, that's a great point. Tate Sandell actually might be, probably, yeah.
With the one wearing the shorts? Since when could they wear shorts to play a football game?
That's insane. Kip Lewis, 10 tackles, 4 solo, half a sack, 1.5 tackles for loss, a pass breakup, and a QB hurry. Heineke also forces a fumble. And the defense played so well. I'm glad that they finally got some offense to complement them a little bit, and to finally have a game in which they are. Well, hold on, just love this. Shanna Rippey. Tate Sindel for Theismann. Is it a Heisman? That's great. That's pretty good. Exactly. Going forward, I guess, and then we. Yes, we are. That was wild. It just kicked us out of everything. Can you all still see us? There's like nothing coming back up. All right, there we go. We're back.
That was
That's
crazy. I was like, I guess we are done.
Whoa.
Just kidding.
Uh-oh. They said, uh-oh.
That was weird. He says, you're back.
There was a lot that went. What were we talking about just then?
I don't even know anymore.
I don't know. What a couple of games? Let's talk about a couple of games that we saw today. Miami loses to SMU. Texas beats. What's playing right now?
That's not
What is on? Sorry, I gotta mute this. Okay, I think something's playing in the background. That is okay. My bad. No need to play.
Y'all, this is
all right. This is just a lot going on. Sorry.
It's past midnight. Our computer's like, I'm done. I'm done.
Tennessee or Miami loses. What else? Vanderbilt loses. Georgia Tech
Vandy,
lost.
Miami. I can't believe Georgia Tech got beat. We're all ahead of us.
Right?
Yeah. You know what? I know this is crazy, but North Texas won. Guys, there's a great story. That quarterback has the best story ever. And the running back's from Shawnee, Oklahoma, and he had like 155 yards. He's run like that all year long. And the quarterback is impressive. He will be in one of the major five, group of five. Power four. He'll be there, and so will the running back next year. But that was a good game to watch. If anybody watched that game, and the Miami game, SMU is going to be a problem, guys. They've got a lot of money down there, and they want to win football games. We saw that back in the day when they got the program shut down because they were throwing money in there and they weren't supposed to, but now they can. So they're going to be impressive and be a problem in recruiting, and some of the coaches on the side have been talking about that. That's the problem. So they're going to be on the rise, and they're going to be a problem for everybody. But what a day!
And it makes it so much better that Oklahoma actually won.
I'm sorry, I'm talking baseball. I'm not really a big baseball fan, but I am when it comes to the World Series. And tonight was an awesome night of the last inning and winning extras, and it was crazy, to watch that. But it makes it fun when you win, right? With a football game, and then you win that, and then your team wins, right?
It does. Looking forward to you. Tell me. We've talked about it before. I feel like Oklahoma could win out.
Yes.
I feel like Oklahoma could lose out.
Yeah.
What did you see tonight? On your opinion, I'll ask you, Dad, too, and I'll answer myself, I guess. But first off, what did you see tonight that makes you think both they could win out and then they could lose out?
So with the win out is how much more confident our offense did look and how much more of a flow that they seemed to have. We also have Tate Sindel.
Right.
So keep it up. Defense is the defense. Again, I think we need to clean up those like third and longs that we gave up. But overall, like the game we played today was good enough to win, I think, every game going forward. With the I say that you can't have the turnovers against Alabama and scoring position. But I do think for the most part, if we can play at least how we played the second half, we can win out. Now, we can lose out because the big chunk plays that we gave up, and they have Ryan Williams, who's dang good. Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned, their quarterback's playing probably the best quarterback ball right now. And then you can't give up. You have to score when you're in scoring position. You can't turn the ball over.
Right.
So that's why we can lose. Now I will say Missouri's on their third string quarterback.
True freshman, third string quarterback. Yep.
Right. So that's a benefit for us. However, they also played Drew Pine last year.
Yeah.
And we lost that game.
Yeah.
LSU just fired their
everybody.
coach.
If you're employed at LSU, you've been fired.
And so that's kind of in limbo. So I'm sure they're going to be fired up for the next game or two, maybe. But is that going to last? I don't know. Penn State fired James Franklin, and suddenly
they fought for a half.
Right, yeah. James Franklin.
Yeah, James Franklin. It was. I will say they played Ohio State. Ohio State looks very good.
They did fight,
but
I'm saying though, like they've looked better since then. So you just never know.
Right.
But I do think this was the momentum shift that Oklahoma needed. I mean, fan base and the team and the coaching staff. I mean, everybody needed this. I can go into the bye week happy. I can watch football next week just with zen.
You're right. Just relax a little bit.
Yes.
And for you, Pops, what did you see that makes you encouraged they'll win out? What did you see that worries you that they may lose out?
Well, the win out is what Tierney said. I think the second half with our offense, if they keep playing like they're playing, we're going to be hard to beat. If that doesn't happen, and then we'll struggle for the next 3 games if our offense doesn't produce. This isn't the same as last year when we beat Alabama, go to Missouri and lose. This is a different team. This is a different attitude. I feel so much more confident. We've got a quarterback that I think has gotten better and got his mojo back. And as long as that stays there, he gives us a chance to win. And we've got the best running back playing. And our, you know what? Those freshman linemen are getting better each week. And the left guard, I never can pronounce his
Eddie
name.
Pierre-Louis.
Yeah, I love him. He's
EPL.
EPL, he's my favorite player. He's got a lot to learn, just technique-wise. But man, you got to love him because he plays so hard. But we're getting better there, and that is a big plus. They're playing in big games, and they're just going to get better. And you can kind of see the hole that he had for Robinson there at the end of the game. I mean, come on now. They blocked people. And we haven't seen that all year long. They kind of did it last week against Ole Miss on that real long run, and they did it again. But this one was big. I mean, I could have ran through there, and I'm big and fat and slow. So,
my dad, by the way, out of high school was elite. 4'6" guy, Clemson offer, all this stuff, and ended up winning an Natty and NEO and all that. So, for him to say that now, he's probably still could get moving a little bit. But
no, I couldn't either.
I will say for me, and this bleeds in a little bit to the 9-3. We had a comment earlier I meant to get to, and for the playoff, a lot of people it was asked going into this game, going into this year, we saw 9-3 playoff or 9-3 record would get us in the playoff. Now it's one of those where we're both playing for our playoff lives. I think a couple of the differences are, one is you lost to Texas. I don't think that's a good loss. I don't think Texas is a good team. And now you got it. This was a must-win game because Oklahoma needed a road win against a top 15 team to really solidify, some of the big wins that the committee's going to want to look at and see on your record if you lose to an Alabama on the road. Now that's just accounting for 2 home wins against a LSU team that's kind of fired at their AD, fired their head coach, quarterback injured, and then a Missouri team that has an injury to their now and is playing their true freshman third string. For me, what makes me excited they can win out? I couldn't really add much more than Tierney and my dad did. It is the encouragement that one is you saw, and my dad can attest to this last year. Turnovers tend to come in bunches. It's one of those things when you start getting them, you start believing you're going to get them, and that kind of leads to maybe like a placebo effect of you do get more. I don't know, maybe you don't if you look at the stats overall, but I feel like once you start getting turnovers, they're going to come in bunches. And I think one of the things we said when we got into conference play was, although we didn't have a lot then, the encouraging thing was everyone you get from now on is going to be in a big game. And so from now on, the encouraging thing again, right. The encouraging thing again is it's going to be in a huge game.
I was trying to find the graphic, but before the game it mentioned mentions with the win, what are your playoff odds? What with the loss? Ours was almost 50% with a win. So I mean,
there you go.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Now low, it was 20% if we'd lost.
And for me, what encourages me that we'll win out is the turnovers, and also I did see, and I can't put it into words, so it's probably unfair for me to just say that I see it. But row Nor's row, yeah. John has still to this day, to me, and some people will disagree, and that's fine, but he does have a leadership quality, and I think my dad put it well. He doesn't have a deer in the headlights mentality to him. Dylan Gabriel also had the same kind of thing. Dylan Gabriel, I'll never forget, one of the coolest things in that if you go back watch the 2023 OU Texas game, the play before he throws a touchdown to oh my gosh, Nick Anderson on the corner, like his eyes look like he just like is reading a book. Like his eyes look calm. He's just doing this, and then he just claps. But it's that you've been there so much, and you trust like what you're going to go into and your reads and whatnot. And for me, maybe I think something might have clicked that second half for John. Now maybe that throw over the middle and the interception, it clicked a little too much. You don't need to be doing that much, my brother. But it's still like I felt like I saw something with him that is something he can carry forward into these later games. And I still think he's a guy that the other guys look at and they think we got a dude at that position. And we got a guy that we believe can go into a stadium and just demand respect from another team. And when you feel like you have a guy at that position, it changes your whole mentality across the board. When you feel like you have a dude that is going to be the best player on the field, I just can't explain it. I think maybe if people just they'll get what I'm saying, but there is something about him that I still believe is an alpha type energy. Maybe I hate to use the alpha beta, so it's cringy to me, but I think it's the best way I can put it right now. Is that I think that's what he has. And our defense, man, they have and last thing I'll say on the encouraging thing, I feel like our defense has an identity. Mm-hmm. Like, and I told T this on a Monday show, it was post game, maybe the South Carolina post game. It's like they almost feel disrespected when you score on them. Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like you ain't gonna get that again. And maybe you score on them. Look, good offenses, we talked about it earlier, are gonna score points. For the first time, like our offense felt like a little bit of an identity was built in that fourth quarter where we're gonna run the ball on you. You ain't gonna stop us. And you're gonna take it all. Like you're sorry. You're not nothing you can do about it. And that to me is something you can build off of. You can develop in practice. You can develop over the week. Again, Oklahoma wins this game going into a bye week. R. Mason Thomas, Derek Simmons, key player Keontez Lewis, key players like that are getting 2 weeks basically to get ready for the Alabama game. That is such a big win. And now you go to an Alabama game where they're not coming off a bye. I don't believe they have a bye week. I just said that as if I knew. They're not going. Yeah, I'll have T look it up. I don't think they have a bye week, but they're not coming off a bye week. And you're getting to rest up, prepare, and BV is, if there's one thing he's been good at, it's coming and playing off a bye week for people.
They play LSU next week.
Is it home or LSU?
So this was it's at home.
Okay.
So this was their bye week.
Okay. So they got a bye week this week. They play LSU next week. Again, you're playing a defense that has big-time players and guys that could make a deal. So that encourages me. What doesn't encourage me, I guess, is still you got to make better decisions in crunch time. Again, Oklahoma, I'm free to hire. All I want is pass sideline tickets for my family. I want 5 of them, and I'll run your clock management. I will tell you what you can and can't run under 2 minutes whenever you're trying to win a game.
That was a problem as well. Mateer just let me know the clock. It was 3 different times, which I think Xavier took the blame on one. He said, like, my bad.
Yeah, he said my bad.
But regardless, we're trying to change a play with 8 seconds left. Like it cost us a timeout.
It's a great call
all those times. So that was very annoying. And then pause though. We have over 660 people watching. So once again, if you're watching from anywhere other than YouTube, if you could jump over onto YouTube and just throw a like on for us, that would really, really help us with our channel. Again, there's a live chat going on. Always fun to join and like meet some new friends. Or, if you are on X, we always appreciate comments there as well as sharing the video. But YouTube is where we get the benefit. So if you can throw us a like and watch there, that'd be great.
Bachner said, best game atmosphere I've ever been to. I'm glad you got to go to the game, and I hope you enjoyed it. That's awesome. Y'all should have went. We wanted to. We have reasons why we couldn't, but we couldn't make it this year. Hopefully we get a night game in the future and we can all go. That'd be fun. Stacy said, I'm still holding on to my 10-2 prediction. I'm standing firm. I love that. Hey, more power to you. It should come to pass if we win over Bama. Hey, if we win a Bama game, we'll be in a really good position.
I think we can.
I do worry about Bama because after their big win, this team seems to get comfy. Maybe the best thing is that it is a road game at Bama that doesn't allow you to get kind of relaxed like that.
Bro, I guess. I mean, you don't ever want to play an away game in SEC, Saban says. It's always tough. But I don't know. When they saw the game, they watched the game because they know they're playing, we beat Tennessee and that they're going, they're back. And if they watch us in the second half, they're going, okay, we got a problem here, and they're going to be ready. It's going to be a great football game. I can't wait for that game, and they're going to.
I can wait. I need a break.
I know we need a week's break. I need to be able to get something done on the weekend. But anyway, I think we have a chance to go down there and beat them. But it's you know how it is when you go to a away game and you're going to Alabama and they got all that tradition and they all they know is how to win right now. That's just part of it. But there's no reason why Sooner Magic can't come alive and us beat them again. And he can go into the game. And there's players on our team that's played that will beat them last year. And so that helps too. So they're not going to be scared or intimidated at all. And I guarantee you that quarterback's going to be aware of what's coming off the edge and up the middle. It's not the same as what we've seen all year long because he's fixing to see one of the best defenses in the nation, I think.
And to this day, and I'll say it unapologetically, and I think it's indoubtable, he's going to see the best defensive line he's going to see all year. I think we're better than all.
Get a holding call. That'd be nice.
I don't know if we're better.
Get one.
Not a single one.
How do you not get a holding call the way we rush? We're not rushing that fast that they can't grab a hold of us. They're grabbing a hold of us. We see it every play.
Yeah.
And when we watch the film after, you're watching it and you're breaking it down, you're going, how's they not call holding? There's 3 right there on that one play and you don't call any. And it's just amazing. I don't know how that happens.
I think, yeah.
I will say, you mentioned something earlier about like the offense gave the defense something to play for. Not you didn't say it in those words, but essentially it's kind of like what we've been looking
roundabout
for.
way,
yeah. Your offense has to help your defense, and eventually it's going to happen. I what was big to me is we scored on every turnover we had.
It's a great point.
I mean, 2 field goals, but you still got points out of them. We didn't go backwards for one, like we did last week when we got. It wasn't a real turnover, but turnover on downs. And then of course we had the thick 6 by R. Mason Thomas. So that was one thing that I liked. I was like, we actually scored when they turned the ball over, which not that we've got a lot of turnovers this year, but it was nice to see that they actually took advantage of them.
Well, it helps you. It helps your mentality on defense when you know your offense is producing, you're scoring points,
and that your hard work was for something.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's a mindset. And if they know your offense can move the ball and keep them off the field, it lets you play a little freer. And I think we saw that. And they're gonna get guys. These nowadays are gonna pass for a lot of yardage. It's just gonna happen. Bend but don't break. Make them kick field goals, and you win.
Right. And I think that's the best way you can put it out because I know a lot of people say if this was an elite defense, they wouldn't have scored at all. And it's like, guys, it's impossible. I'm sorry.
This was an offense that was averaging almost 46 points a game.
Just 45.1 a game, and we held them to what?
0.6.
So basically 46 points. We held them to, 27 tonight? That's 26, something like that?
26.
26.
No,
27.
Sorry.
And I mean, so you almost hold them to 20 points less than their average on the year. And guys, they dropped 40 on Georgia. It's not like they haven't played teams that Kirby Smart knows how to call some defense.
He's good at it. That's what I'm saying. You can be great on defense. I've seen a lot of national championship football games where the defense was supposed to be great and the other team scores 40. And you're thinking, well, they're a great defensive team. The offenses that can score are going to score.
Well, that was the same thing with Ole Miss. Everybody's like, good elite offense defenses to give up 34. You realize Georgia gave up 35 in a row, 5 touchdowns in a row.
Yes.
They went 5 for 5 in the first possessions. Like, and even then, like our offense put them in positions, like terrible positions too. And so I'm like, you gotta, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like I do. And we want more, but you got to look at the whole picture.
Right.
Well, and I think people get so jaded because our offense has been so anemic the last couple games where every single drive is so highlighted for the defense where like one mistake so blown up because one mistake is so costly to the outcome of the game on the defense that it makes it like 10 times worse.
It wasn't Tennessee's offense like ranked first in the SEC?
Yes, first in the SEC. Well, Arkansas might have been first actually. Arkansas drops a ton of points. I think Arkansas was number 1, and Tennessee was 2.
Almost always.
But I would just say this: you hold a team like Tennessee to 20 points under their average. You hold a team like Tennessee to 1.8 yards a carry or something of the sort. I think it was 1.8. You start making teams like that one-dimensional because I guarantee you next week or when you play Alabama's going to try to run the ball on you like that as well. And what Oklahoma is so good at doing is making you one-dimensional, and that travels. And when you can make that travel, you can win games. Now you continue to. Luke Quan should have gotten to come back on hold. This is hilarious. This is a deep cut by Tex Forever that a lot of people won't get. Luke Quan, former teammate of mine actually at the University of Oklahoma Golf, is now a huge YouTube golfer. Overslept one of the biggest internet tournaments of all time. Overslept his tee time. Dave Portnoy at Barstool told Luke Quan he couldn't come back till hole 5. It was a big deal. It's hilarious. It was a great content thing. So this whole thing is Luke Quan overslept his tee time. he got there at the when his team was on the putting green on hole 1, and so people were like, "You should come back on hole 2." And Dave Portnoy was like, "In the PGA Tour, you can't," which he's right. The PGA Tour, you're DQ'd if you miss your tee time. Luke Kwon was asleep when his tee time went off. They were on cabins on the golf course. His teammate had to go wake him up, and it was 4 minutes past his tee time.
Oh my!
Anyways, it was hilarious. That's a deep cut by TX Forever. Great job there. I will say at the end, just kind of wrapping it up. Oklahoma gets a road win on the SEC. Oklahoma probably going to be close to the ranked in the top 10 again. Oklahoma is in the playoff hunt. All of their goals for the season are still right in front of them. Yes. I think there's a lot they can build off of, getting healthy on this bye week, getting a lot more momentum built up on some things that were successful on an offense. And they've kind of worked out some kinks. Voj, I'll be really interested to hear what Gabe thinks about a lot of the offensive line play on his breakdowns. But overall, man, you win against Tennessee. You went on the road. The defense gave up yards, but at the end of the day, everything about defensive statistics are all about how many points do you give up. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. If you give up 1,000 yards a game but only 10 points a game, I'll take that defense. I don't care about yard, So they didn't give up. They gave up a little the points for sure, but they did not break. I felt like, and they gave up. They had big stops, man, when they needed them, and that matters. And I just want to mention this early on. I thought we had good cover. Reggie Powers had good coverage on a couple of them. Aguilar delivered some dimes early in this game. He threw some great passes, and I thought you saw later in the game, consistent pressure gets to a quarterback, and it may not get there in terms of a sack, but it'll rush his decision making and makes him quick with his feet, quick with his timing, and I thought that kind of you saw that later in the game for sure.
It causes problems, man, when they're getting that rush, and even if the pass gets away and he's getting tackled, he feels that pressure, and it really made a difference there at the end of the game.
Awesome. T, final thoughts? What overall? I mean, whatever you think about, really whatever. But before we end up here, what are the kind of final thoughts in the game and all that?
Final thoughts are: if you have the type of energy you had the second half, clean up the penalties, clean up the turnovers. We really can win out.
Right.
It's just you have to. The thing is, you just have to get that done.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. And maybe if we got a holding call, that'd be nice too. I'd like to see a holding call
no joke.
for us.
And don't forget to fall back tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point. Don't forget to fall back. Dad, final thoughts. Overall, what are you excited about coming up and just kind of going into this bye week and then coming up for the Alabama game, rest of the season? Final thoughts on all the game and just kind of what you see coming up.
Well, my final thought is a win's a win, and I'll take it. But the way we won the game was impressive, because I thought there for a first half, I didn't feel too good about what was going on with our offense, because you got to score points, obviously. So a win's a win. Our offense looked like they turned it around in the second half. And as long as I've kind of said, repeating this over and over, but it's a true statement. Mateer is Mateer that we thought he was in the first 4 games, and we put in the right running back, and he's come about, and we need to give him the ball 16, 20 times a game. And I think our offensive line is starting to gel. And there's 2 freshmen, remember, who we got up front. The future is bright. I know we have what we're looking in front of us. So, my gosh, this team has a lot to look forward to. And I think we're going to go into Alabama and we're going to surprise them. And we're going to come out in a post-game live, and we're going to be talking about another victory.
I'm only looking up two true freshmen. I think Eddie Pierre-Louis is a redshirt freshman, and of course So a young offensive line, and also your center is going to come back. So you're looking at 3. Fabechi Wewu is graduating, going to move on, but you're looking at 4 of your 5 linemen coming back next year. That's huge. And if John needs to come back, he doesn't need to be going to the NFL yet. He's not ready. He's just not ready. I'm sorry, he's not ready yet. You're looking at, we need to finish this year, but the projections for what they could be next year, it's awesome. OU wins. Always a good weekend, always a good night when Oklahoma wins. I know there's a lot of things that you could look at if you're pessimistic, optimistic, whatever you are, istic. You can find things to talk about. End of the day, when you win on the road in the SEC, you continue to rack up dubs. It's always a good feeling. We will be back Monday. Josh, I don't know if he's at Neyland. Josh Mahler, another co-host at Voice of College Football Oklahoma. He's at the game, was at the stadium. Obviously tough for him to make the post-game show. But he'll be, I don't know, I'm going to assume he's not he usually has a show tomorrow at 1. I don't think he's going to be posting that tomorrow.
I think so.
With travel. Yeah, I'm assuming he's not. But
who knows?
We will be back Monday. and Josh will for sure be back Tuesday for his show. And where we at to what we think overall. We'll get to some bye week things, some stuff that we have been encouraged by this season, what we like to see changed. But man, it is amazing what a win does for just the psyche in terms of how good you feel about a game in the season. But having said that, Oklahoma beats Tennessee. We are encouraged to continue to see what happens the rest of this year. You guys rock. Hopefully y'all stay safe tonight. I know it's a Saturday, well, actually Sunday morning technically, but late Saturday night. Be safe. Get home. Like I always say, if you have your loved ones around, tell them you love them. It's always a blessing to be able to do that. And
before we leave, like the
video.
There's over 700 of you guys watching, so please just hop over to YouTube at Voice of Oklahoma and find us and just like it. It'll take you 2 seconds.
Comment
too. Really, really well.
Just say boomer. Comment boomer.
Comment. Say boomer. Like
I'll ask you. Whatever you want.
That also really helps us. So we really appreciate all your support. We look forward to seeing you guys Monday.
Boomer.
Boomer.